Welcome to Connect Vegas. We feature conversations with Las Vegas creators and leaders, learn about their work, and explore our shared love of our favorite city. And now, welcome our host, Ben Laifsky.
Hi, I'm Ben Laifsky, and welcome to Connect Vegas. I'm here at Taverna Costera today at the start of Tech Alley, which is a wonderful set of monthly meetups around technology, innovation, marketing, everything you need to know about startups. Highly encouraging. But here, I'm actually here to introduce a conversation with my good friend Bill Houghton. He is the founder and CEO of Horizon Print Solutions. Bill was literally the first person I met with when I moved to Las Vegas. I moved here in 1999. I was hired to open a call center for an affiliate of Nextel, and I was sitting in this giant call center facility all by myself before we'd even started hiring, and this distant figure started walking toward me from way across the facility. Turned out to be Bill. Horizon Print Solutions is a local printer, branded merchandise provider. That doesn't go far enough to explain how they help companies brand themselves, but Bill was literally the first person that came up and introduced himself to me in Las Vegas, and we've been friends ever since. This conversation is far-ranging. I think you'll enjoy it. Bill is a fascinating person with a variety of interests, and he is super well connected around town and involved in the community. So I hope you enjoy our conversation with Bill Houghton. I'm here with Will Houghton of Horizon Business Solutions. Will, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Thanks, Ben. Will Houghton. I founded Horizon Print Solutions back in 1992, and we really, with my background in business forms, printing is essentially the core of what we do, but really we're a solutions provider for anything a business uses to communicate, whether it's internally, whether it's externally, whether it's a vehicle wrap all the way to a business card. We help them promote their business.
Wonderful. Who is a typical customer of yours? What leads someone to work with you?
We really are a great solution for almost all businesses. There's no question about that. We do your business cards, your brochures, your everything that any company is going to use that you could even buy at Vistaprint. But strangely enough, Ben, I'm glad you asked that question because I send some of people that approach me to Vistaprint. We really seek to deliver solutions to a little bit more complicated clients. Maybe somebody who has multiple locations, a franchise group that needs to make sure they have proper identity in every one of their couple hundred locations while maintaining a good grip on their cost and an ease of transaction for all of their franchisees. Of course, we work with some of the hotel casinos right here in Las Vegas. We're the hospitality and sports capital of the world now, so we know this. And of course, the needs of a casino vary just because you have your housekeeping department, you have your cage, you have your front desk, you have all of these different departments that have to interact. And my paperwork has been flowing through there for my entire career.
And how do you, when you're talking to someone, how do you describe the value that you provide or the benefits of working with you?
Really, we take on a consultative approach. It depends on what the client's looking for. As we're out in market, if a new prospect or a new friend has worked with their next door neighbor for the last 20 years buying whatever, then that need is already met in such a great way. I've always been a fill in the edges sort of fellow. When I started in the industry, Ben, you won't believe this, but almost all of the hotel casinos on the strip had a print shop on site. And so I went in and said, okay, what aren't you doing on site? What are you struggling with? And so I've always been that, what are you struggling with? Fill in the solutions person. And as a result, we really have a tremendous bandwidth of things that we are able to do and bring resources from everything you could imagine in print to our clients.
That's fantastic. I want to get into a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in what they call Canyonlands in southwestern Utah, just up the freeway here. I was there near Zion National Park. I was born in Cedar City, right down for the hill from Brian Head, which everybody in Vegas loves if they ski. And Cedar City right there is where I was born, and I grew up in St. George. My family has deep roots in the St. George area. So I fell in love with the Canyonlands up there, and as a result, I've been coming to Vegas since I was a small kid.
Those are such beautiful places.
Yes.
What were some of your hobbies or interests when you were a young person?
Oh gosh, I've always loved the outdoors. I was very involved in the scouting program, and then my father really engaged me in hunting and fishing. And strangely enough, prospecting. Dad and I were prospectors chasing silver and gold all around the Western United States and some crazy adventures. In fact, Ben, I don't know if I'd shared this with you, but my dad taught me demolitions when I was a young teenager. Not sure if that would fly with today's values, but yeah, it was a great hobby as a young teenager. Of course, I did it safely. Still have all 10 fingers, can I point out? And it was just awesome. I like to joke that it was a blast, but a bump. But yeah, those kind of hobbies really just endeared me to being outdoors and really making a connection. If I'm struggling with work and everything's crazy, boy, a trip out to a quick nature trail or a quick walk out or sitting on a nice cliff and being out there in nature really brings me back to what's important.
Prospect, were you digging or were you in streams, like filtering the water like you see in movies?
All of the above. In the Utah-Nevada border right there, we were going, they call it load mining if you're going underground. And we actually did that. We were blowing up the earth. We were digging way, way down, and we were able to build a big H-frame and pulling buckets of ore out and scratching that down into a pulp and melting the gold and silver out of that ore. So it was the craziest thing. Got to the North Slope of Alaska, and I got to do what they call placer mining, which is the screening process. Our operation actually could handle 40 cubic yards an hour. I could see on those television shows that have come out since then, except I got to tell you, the TV shows, I was a little jealous because they had a road to get to civilization. It took us an airplane. So,
That's fascinating. What a fun sort of adventure to have as a young person.
you know what? I lost my father when I was in my mid-20s, and he and I were just as tight as two people could possibly be. I was his only son, and it was just some of my fondest memories. And as you can imagine, those little nuggets of gold that I still have are worth a lot more than their weight in gold. I could say it that way.
That is very well said. When you started working as a young person, what were some of your first jobs, or did you have any that were remarkable?
I was such a go-getter, I think might be the right word, Ben. At age 11, I decided that I needed to travel. My family didn't travel so much, pretty stuck there in the corner of southwestern Utah. So I thought, if I'm going anywhere, I better put fuel in my own tank. And so I started mowing lawns, babysitting, picking up golf balls at the golf course. And at age 12, actually bought myself an 8-day tour of the eastern United States. I was just a little bit of a young hustler, if you will, at anything I could get by and make a few bucks. Worked at the golf course a little bit, those types of jobs. And then, gosh, after a small stint up in southwestern or south central Alaska, I ended up here in Las Vegas and ended up in my industry within 6 months of landing in Las Vegas.
Did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur? It sounds yes.
Yes. I remember in high school, sometimes would do those, what are your skill sets kind of things. And I always saw myself as a businessman. And I wasn't quite sure what that meant at the beginning. And as I looked at the question a little deeper, Ben, what I realized is that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to really control my destiny and my fate. And being a business owner has really helped me with all of that. And in taking a look at what was my avenue to bring that I could really bring value to the marketplace, the thought hit me that if I could find something that was staid, boring, uninteresting, kind of thing, and just add a little bit of flair to it and do it brilliantly, I thought there might be a successful formula in all of that.
And did you model yourself after someone, or did you have someone in your life that you
Right.
saw and said, wow, I could do my version of that?
Not directly. I didn't have a family member or anybody like that, but I've always been an avid reader. And right out of the gate, as soon as I started with my very first job in sales, selling in my industry here, I started picking up books. Back at the time, Lee Iacocca was all of the rage, and picking up all those biographies and autobiographies. I have probably 400 biographies under my belt at this stage, many of them by some of the great business leaders, all the way up to, okay, just to brag a little bit, but Jack Welch signed my book by Jack Welch.
You're not proud of that at all.
Okay, Michael Gerber also signed E-Myth for me, brother.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so I've had a chance to work with some of those eyes, and I just filter through like I was mining, where I'm looking for nuggets of information and treasures that I can really bring home and put into place in my business as I build my company around us here.
No, that's fantastic. So I'd like to bring us a little bit more back to the present.
Okay.
Can you talk about some of the specific products and services that you offer?
Oh, probably longer than you want to hear about, Mr. Ben. Aha! Let me tell you, what's exciting about my industry now is really we have, between me and my manager here, Fawn and I have almost 70 years experience. I don't know how that could be, as young as we both are, but we have a tremendous amount of experience and hundreds of thousands of print projects under our belt. So what we really bring is just a depth. One of our strip property clients the other day came to us for a presentation folder, and they had no idea that if they bought 4 times the quantity, it would only cost them 20% more, that type of thing. And so we bring that value to the conversation. Again, we're not take your business away from your brother-in-law. We're not about that. But boy, if there's a question that you have, we're going to really take a look at it from a consultative level, make the best recommendation, and then help our clients forward with whatever their objectives are. That's what we're about.
Yeah, I find when I've had to help people understand those things that you do, I'm swamped with choice. There's almost an ocean of options, and that's where I really look for somebody to help.
On some projects, again, you're thinking of something like, hey, I want to make a presence on a trade show floor. It's my first time. This happens to us quite frequently. And so they come over and we're like, okay, who's your demographic? What are you trying to say to them? Let's get the personality of your business, because once you take that on the road, you put it on a trade show floor, your entire personality, your culture of your business needs to exist in that 10 by 10 space or that 10 by 20 space. So how do we communicate your message out there in a unique environment? Or in 20 environments, if you happen to be a larger organization? How do we maintain that consistency and maintain that brand presence and that messaging that you need to get to your prospective market in the best way possible? And that's what we'll help you do.
And do you find you have to educate people about how the visuals carry that brand forward?
We have a lot of different ideas. Say again, to go back to the trade show booth we were talking about, we have a list of about 15 different ideas that are fairly common. What we're going to do is we're not only going to try to let you know that a retractable banner like this fabulous one behind me is, or the table throw that you need in front of your booth, but just because I'm a kind of a pain, I'm going to bring up to you, like, how are you going to engage your prospect? How are you going to get an interaction? How do you start a dialogue? How do you follow up with them? Do you think it's a good idea to get a correspondence in their mailbox a couple days later? How are you really going to get your return on investment on all the money you're spending with me? Because your success is what I'm engaged in now. That's what we do for our clients, Ben. And honestly, I think that's what makes us unique.
Yeah, some people, I believe, come to you with the idea, I need a brochure. And it sounds like you're really guiding them through, okay, let's take a step back and understand what you're trying to accomplish, who you're trying to attract.
Yes.
And then we can figure out if the brochure is the right answer for you.
Yes. Yes. And as we've been in the industry and we built out a really dynamic reputation over the 3 decades plus now, Ben, next month will be our 32-year anniversary for Horizon Print Solutions. And we really have built a great space in exactly that area. Some of the clients we get to work with, if I can drop a couple of names, I'm thrilled to be a resource for Area 15. Venetian Palazzo has been on my client roster for almost 40 years. Anderson Dairies, the third oldest company in the entire state of Nevada. And you don't earn that type of long-time loyalty unless you're really bringing some value to the conversation.
Yeah. One thing I love about you guys is not only can you handle those big names and handle them very well, but you can also do those little quick jobs, and that's valuable. You're not just looking for these giant clients.
Really, we're about really finding somebody that we like to work with. We're a little bit choosy about our clients. We don't have a big banner on the street offering 19-cent photocopies or anything of that kind of stuff. But really, we want to be picky about our clientele, because once we're working with a client, you get our resources. My entire team is at your resource. I'm at your resource. Our production equipment, everything right here, all my vendors, all of our capabilities really become your resource. And once we've proven ourselves a few times, oh my gosh, we get to do just amazing things for companies. Anyway, nationwide, we sent out 5 rush projects to one client an hour ago before I stepped into this conversation with you, my friend.
Is there anything that people misunderstand about what you do that you have to educate them about it?
What's a funny thing is we have a marketing strategy we're playing with right now that you call that printing? Because when people think about printing, they have no idea what we do. And you'd think it would be an easy connection. And yet the smoke, okay, you go into the lavatory in an airplane, which I was in 2 days ago, and there's a little sticker across that smoke detector that you can't be tampered with. And it's a crazy sticker, and it's very specialized, and it's the goofiest thing. That's my specialty. That's printing to me. The vehicle wrap or the flags in a parking lot to draw attention to a business, we call that printing. All of that type of stuff to us is printing. You have oh my gosh, look at that. I gotta show you a funny thing. This mug here, a little expensive, but it's a speaker on the bottom. It's a flashlight. It's all of that. And yes, we call that printing too. Branded hard branded goods. So really for me, when I say, hey, I work in the printing industry, I think people think that it's this when in fact it's this.
That's Fantastic description. I stop saying fantastic. Is there anything else we should know about your work that you didn't mention?
I love what I do. I really do. My team is the best I've ever had on site here. We just trip over ourselves to meet our client needs. If we gave you a commitment that we're going to be here and we're going to have your project in your hands, boom, we're going to be on it. And it's pretty extraordinary to work with a team of people that I'm privileged to work with here.
All right. One thing I was looking forward to asking you, I know that you really, ongoing education is extremely important to you.
Oh, gosh.
And the inspiration that provides and the knowledge. Maybe you could share a book or two that you like to recommend or that you've given it most often as a gift.
First of all, the greatest business book of my lifetime, there's no question, is Jim Collins' Good to Great that he wrote. And most everybody is familiar with Collins and his writing and everything that's surrounded around that. I've recommended that book to every opportunity I get to speak to university students and such who are moving into business. My favorite book of my entire life, strangely enough, is the biography of Leonardo da Vinci by Walter Isaacson. And first of all, Isaacson is one of the greatest biographers there ever was. And Da Vinci had such insatiable curiosity that it has made that one of the core values of my life, if you will. And so I just love that about him and now realize that's probably why he was such the genius that he is, that here 500 years later, we're talking about him. And then just for a book that makes you understand the way an alien being works, I've probably given out, you said more than any other copy, Soul of an Octopus is a book written by a naturalist who got to know on a personal level, which is a strange way to put it, 7 different octopuses, which, by the way, it's octopuses, not octopi. They teach you as you read the book. And understanding the intelligence and the mystery and the magic and the intelligence and the cunningness and the curiosity and the just depth of personality that this creature that you wouldn't realize has a personality, it comes through in this book. And it really, for me, it helped me go, oh, all those other beings are really important too.
I did not expect that last one, and I was very interested by the time you were done describing it.
Check it out, buddy.
All right. I have some questions about Las Vegas.
Oh, I love our city.
Our favorite city.
Yes.
First, I think you might have touched on this, but just confirm for us how long you've been here and how is Las Vegas different than when you first got here?
Oh my goodness. So in a funny twist, I live about 4 blocks away from where I moved to the city in January of '87. So I moved in behind the Bally's Hotel at Grand Plaza Apartments. It was a terrible, terrible apartment complex, even in '87, right? And now it's underneath of the paddock of Formula One Grand Prix racing. So that just gives you a feel for the neighborhood. And the city was interesting and it was fun. And it almost felt like a wannabe version of itself today. Is that a weird way to put it? I was in town I saw the transaction with the Sands and the DI and Kerkorian of the MGM fame, bought those properties, and then he split them up. And as I watched the way that our city was growing, it was intriguing to me. And then you see a man of the caliber of Steve Wynn open a property like Mirage, and it just burst through a ceiling of taking Vegas from what it could be to the hospitality, entertainment, sports capital of certainly the United States, if not the world. I think Formula One has proven that we are a destination for all of the world. And we proved it last November. We're going to take it even better this coming November. And I got to tell you, I say we because I take such pride in this city. And I think that everybody here does. People who get it in our city realize that those 43 million people who choose Vegas as a destination, that's our goal. That's what we do in our city, and we do it better than anybody on the planet. Our advertising firm, LVCVA, they're simply the best. And as we continue to evolve as a city, it inspires me to evolve as a business owner. It inspires me to evolve as a human being. That's why I named my company Horizon, because I'm always striving for evolution to the next horizon. That's what I love about our city. I've never seen a city evolve like Las Vegas, Nevada.
I want to clap. That was one of the best descriptions of the city and what's going on that I've heard.
Oh, thanks.
I just feel like we're on a rocket ship right now.
Oh, it's exciting. It really is.
The movie studios that are going to be here.
And I'm next to the baseball stadium.
Yeah. And we're checking off every sport we don't yet have, which is just...
You think back to '87 when the NBA was like, we'll never. And now we have the WNBA. Hello, can we say world champions, the aces, hello. And it's just amazing. And it's such an injection of pride in our city. And when it's one thing to be proud of a winning team, but can I just tell you that, Ben, that my heart on October 1 with that crazy violence that occurred in our city those years ago, well, a tragedy, the violence was beyond words and beyond description. The city coming together in the way that it did was unlike anything I would have even expected or had experienced in my entire life. A friend of mine was the head of the Salvation Army, and they were having to hand out water and snacks to people who refused to get out of line at a blood bank that was overflowing with excess blood donations. They wouldn't get out of line. We grieved as a community and we healed as a community. And it was pretty magical.
I can't say it better than that. That is a memory that I carry close to my heart as well.
Yeah. God bless the Golden Knights.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
Ah, they helped with that.
On a slightly different note, I know you're extremely active in the community. What are your favorite groups and organizations, maybe that help you connect with others in the Valley?
First of all, if everybody does not know Ben Laifsky, you should know Ben Laifsky because he's the best there is. Okay, so we'll go there first and foremost. Thanks, Ben. For me, one of the drivers for me as a human being is youth, the young citizens. I think that sometimes they're overlooked. I think they're considered sometimes a little bit less than they should be seen. And so I really put a tremendous amount of energy and effort and love and heart into charities or organizations that help youth be everything they can be. That might be helping them read. It might be being part of the Natural History Museum, which I've been blessed to be a 6-year member of Las Vegas Natural History Museum. And we open our doors to almost 30,000 children a year to come in and in many cases experience science and engineering and paleoanthropology for the first time ever. And that really is such a core of who I am as a person. St. Jude's Ranch for Children out in Henderson and the magical work that Dr. Vila does over there, the Boys and Girls Club and the way that they reach our community. There's so many avenues around here, and I work with quite a few. I like the youth charities are a big focus for me, although I do work a little bit in the rehab space. West Care and their presence in the Valley, actually nationwide, is significant. And what they do, there's a tremendous need, and I'm really proud of my involvement over there. There's a lot of need in our community, and my company, if I don't mind a little shout out here, we do something fun and unique where we actually promote volunteerism just at its core. Volunteerism in the community. And for any team member who donates volunteers 40 hours a year, they earn 16 PTO hours on me. So we're pretty proud of that. And I think it encourages people.
That's a great program.
Thanks.
You're really supporting those that support the community.
Yes.
You mentioned the Natural History Museum. I know you're a board member there.
Yes.
Too many people haven't been down there yet. We have a first-class museum in our own backyard.
It's crazy. And we have a brand new marketing director, just started a week ago, so we won't quite bombard her yet. But we really are a best kept secret. We have an affiliation with the Smithsonian Institution. They come out here, they look at our programs, they take a look at our education avenues, they look at what we're bringing to the community, and they consider us one of a tremendous resource in our community, as does the American Association of Museums. Only 5 or 6% of museums nationwide achieve affiliation or accreditation with the AAM, and the Las Vegas Natural History Museum just achieved our second 10-year accreditation with that amazing organization. And it really goes down to an examination of what we bring to the community, whether it's educational, whether it's enlightenment. We're the Federal Archive or repository for all of the mammoth bones that have been discovered right here in the Valley. I hope some of your viewers are going to go, mammoth bones in this valley? Yes. Come on down to the museum and you can touch them and check them out. They're amazing. Better back up on the touch them part, but you can definitely check them out. But we have them there and we get to keep them and we make sure that we manage them. We manage them appropriately. We have a working paleoanthropology lab. We have a wildlife gallery. We have a reenactment of Howard Carter's discovery of King Tut's tomb on site. It's a magical place and I encourage everybody to come down there 9 to 4 every day. Doesn't even cost very much.
Thank you very much for that. Before we move on from this point, you're a member of a lot of business organizations in town. Do you want to mention any of the ones that really help you connect with other business people?
I got to tell you, just a shout out to our local chambers. It's a tough job. Business is all over the place and it's crazy. I've been a member on and off, if you will, for the Vegas Chamber and the Henderson Chamber all through my career. And I got to tell you, when things got difficult, like during the pandemic, those organizations really helped us with a backbone. They gave us our information when we were faltering, wondering what to do. It was such a go-to source that I just can't even set that aside without, first of all, giving them a tremendous shout out. Both of them individually, they both have a different kind of value and they're both just a dynamic in their own space. There's some cool organizations like your Las Vegas Innovative Marketing Group, which is just a great organization for think outside the box and come up with great ideas. For me, being a printer for a living, keeping in mind print covers a lot, but I find that some of our industry verticals are a great place to be the only printer in the convention services industry space, or in the medical space, or in the legal space, and those types of avenues are very effective for me. Some groups like Las Vegas Heals, who are solving problems like the medical issues that we do have here in Southern Nevada, they're fixing those. And being part of that solution not only appeals to me as a human, but there's some great contacts there. We got to say that as well. And great people. And these are people that are making a difference in our community and people who aren't afraid to rattle the bushes as needed.
Those are wonderful organizations, and I recommend them all, absolutely.
Yeah. You keep track of the crazy organizations because there's enough of them in town. So thanks for that.
There is a lot of people doing good work in town, and
it is. Yeah.
Couldn't be more excited about that. How about what's your favorite meal in Las Vegas?
Ooh, my favorite meal, I gotta tell you, okay, I'm gonna shout out to that I don't even get nothing for this, but the bar has a $20 top sirloin that melts my brain. I can't even believe they can put it on my plate for 20 bucks, as good as it is. And so it's my little secret go-to. I was so skeptical the first 2 or 3 times I started going to different locations to make sure it was good at all of them, and it is.
Hey, that's a local spot.
It is. It's a great place. And like I said, sometimes down there on the strip, it can be a little pricey. So I enjoy going over to the $20 version because I'm only a printer for a living.
Yep. How about what's your favorite spot to view the city?
Boy, let's see. I did a helicopter trip last year over right after Christmas, and that was pretty cool. You know what, the top of the Strat, there's just nothing like it. When we celebrated our company's 31-year anniversary last summer with my fabulous team, we went to the Stratosphere, and you get that 360 view up there. The food is the best. I'm a huge fan of the Sphere just because it's such a great viewing point now, but the Strat is all of that. So shout out to all of that.
Especially when the sun's going down. You can see the whole valley. That's a great spot.
And especially as a longtime local, when you're like, oh, look at this, and that used to be there, and that, which of course drives my kids crazy if I bring it up when I'm with them, because they're like, Dad, who cares what was there 20 years ago?
Hey, we have privileges at our age, right?
See a little gray in our beard there, my friend.
A little bit. All right. My last question for you is if you could share like a phrase or a quote or a lyric, some idea with millions of people, what would that be?
Boy, I had seen that question on there and thought to myself, hey, I should be prepared for that. And a couple of things come to mind. I'm going to go with one that I put into a program. If you go to an event that I've sponsored, which you can find, you'll see this one, and it comes from Mahatma Gandhi, and it's probably my favorite one. And it essentially means, be the change you wish to see in the world. You have to be that change if it's going to happen.
That's a beautiful idea, and we should all take that to heart.
Yeah.
If someone wants to follow up with you or your business, how do they find you?
On the website, I'm at printefficiency.com. You can find me right there. Will at printefficiency.com is my website, or sorry, my email address, or just ring into my office. It's easy to find us on the internet at Horizon Print Solutions. Been here for a long time. We're down on the south side in 89118. And Ben, I can't tell you how happy I am to be a part of your podcast today. This is my first one ever.
Well, thank you. You wouldn't know it was your first time. You're very wonderful to talk to.
Oh, Ben, always a pleasure. Have a great day, my friend.
Thank you. You take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.